Central Earth, Ringlords, Hobnobs, and other stuff. The Tolkienverse is Peter Jackson's favourite place, considering he's made like 6 movies based on it or something. I have no idea, I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy. I binged through the original trilogy one day while barely paying attention, and I've seen the 3rd Hobbit movie purely because my friends wanted to see it and I had nothing better to do. All I remember was a midget Billy Connolly riding a boar. Anyway, let's talk about Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. So let's get the big question out of the way. You must be asking, do I need to be a Lord of the Rings / The Hobbit fan to like this game? Well, the answer is no. Absolutely not. I mean, I could give less of a shit about them, to be honest. For the large part, Misom is largely self-contained. The majority of the characters are original creations, and the few that are taken from the source material are explained in-game anyway. Misom is set somewhere between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. You play as Talion, a ranger who guards the Black Gate of Mordor, except he does a pretty shitty job of it as Sauron's forces attack the tower and kill everyone, including Talion and his family. Talion is then revived by a wraith, with no memory of his past, and the unlikely couple search for revenge and answers. The combat of Misom is superb, but in all honesty it's practically a carbon copy of the Batman Arkham games combat. It flows smoothly, you can stun enemies, dodge them by jumping over them, and there's other abilities that are very similar to the Batman games. The only difference is that Talion happily murders his foes in brutal, stylish ways, and sometimes with wraithy, stealthy stuff too. It's incredibly fun just to get in massive fights and senselessly chop and behead every poor sod that gets in your way. Mixed in with the Batman combat is Assassin's Creed style movement, climbing and stealth mechanics. Sneak up on enemies for a quick stab, take to the roofs to deliver some death from above, or sneak up on your wife and give her a kiss.
But on your road, let's not forget.
Happy anniversary, my love.
Alien.
It even uses the towers reveal areas on your map mechanic. Misom's stealth is simple, yet incredibly satisfying, especially once you unlock the Brutalise ability, which basically lets you stab the living shit out of an unsuspecting foe and scare the hell out of nearby enemies who hilariously run away in terror. The real shining star of this game though is the Nemesis System. It randomly generates Sauron's army, a collection of boss-style characters who are more powerful and more potentially tougher to kill. To begin with, you'll not know anything about them. By interrogating a standard Uruk, you can learn their location and their name. You can take this one step further by finding intel or interrogating a worm. This way you can learn a captain's strengths and weaknesses. These can involve either being weak to or immune against certain types of attacks, such as combat finishers, stealth or ranged attacks. Alongside this are other factors. Some captains can become enraged or terrified by the sight of enemies such as Caragors or ghouls. This means they can become even more dangerous or suddenly drop everything and try and flee. The beauty of this system is that it gives each captain an identity. Sure, you'll know how to fight them, but the system can take it even further. For example, if you are killed by a generic nameless enemy, then they'll suddenly gain an identity and get promoted to a captain. And even better, when you arrive to take your revenge, they'll even remember the fact that they've killed you.
Hey! Shouldn't have bothered getting back up. I'm just gonna put you down again.
Other captains that survive encounters with you will remember them too. Captains who escape from you, or if you escape from them. Some captains will even appear out of the blue, or some captains you think you've killed could actually return from the dead seeking revenge of their own. The point is that the Nemesis system is practically a story by itself. The game will generate events which provide opportunities to attack captains in different situations, such as feasts, trials, executions, or even 2 captains fighting with each other. It provides hours and hours of fun, and it even gives you an option to basically refill the army should you get a little carried away. To further the combat, there's a simple abilities and upgrade system. As you complete quests and kill captains and other enemies, you can unlock additional abilities separated into Ranger and Wraith trees. The Ranger tree focuses on combat abilities to make you more lethal in fights, while the Wraith tree focuses on stealth and traversal skills. So you'll start off as a steady Ranger, but as you progress you'll evolve into an almighty death-dealing Lord of Death that kills Uruks and stuff. Or attach runes to your weapons that are found after killing captains. And there's plenty of side content aside from the story and the Nemesis system too. There's collectibles, because of course. Then there's stealth, combat and range challenges that can unlock special abilities which include a short burst of infinite combat moves such as finishers. There's tons of stuff to do. There's even a fun little photo mode which freezes the game world and lets you take screenshots of whatever you're doing at the time, whether it's Talion about to behead some Uruk or just a pretty view. It's fun to mess around with and you can even seamlessly swap between the modes. But there's one little thing that Shadow of Mordor does that no other game does, and it's something they really should. When you get those parts of missions where you have to follow someone at walking pace, the game will automatically follow them for you. I mean, look at this. This is not like a mod or anything. I'm literally not even touching my controller in any way. I'm just automatically following him at a pace that is the same as how he is walking, and therefore I don't have to keep stopping and starting to match him. Why can't more games do this? Misom is a superb game, and just to reiterate, you don't need to be a big Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit fan to really enjoy this game. It doesn't delve too deeply into the source material other than the settings, the races and some other minor stuff. The combat is fun and brutal, stealth is equally brutal, and the Nemesis system is just hours and hours of entertainment by itself, but a big word of warning. As far as I know, the PlayStation 3 and 360 versions do not feature the Nemesis system because last gen sucks. Nonetheless, Misom is also available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC in both Standard or a Game of the Year edition which includes all the DLC for the game. For some weird reason, the Game of the Year version is viewed as a separate game though, meaning you'll have separate achievement or trophy lists and you can't import your saves between them. So I'd suggest if you can getting the Game of the Year edition just for all the extra stuff. Either way, it's a superb game. And the beauty of it is it doesn't really require a massive knowledge of the Tolkienverse to really understand and enjoy the game. I highly recommend it. So thanks for watching and I hope you go out and try Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor for yourself.